if I was on a date.
Hold on.
Stop.
I'm just teasing, babies. I'm sorry.
I would be so upset. Well, hello, you guys. Welcome back
to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Nice to see you.
Y'all, today we are talking about all the do's and
don'ts. Those. We should put that little emoji. You know, the little emoji? The do's and the don'ts of dating. And this counts for whether you're going on a first date with somebody or maybe a 100th date. As you all know, Tori's my wife, but she's also my girlfriend, you know, and I
gotta keep dating.
You gotta keep dating each other. So hopefully these little tips will encourage you a lot. We're gonna be going over the do's, the don'ts, and then some quick tips, and then also conversation starters. Because that was, whenever we started this whole dating series, that was probably one of the most requested things is what should we talk about?
Yeah.
You know,
how to keep the conversation going, not be awkward.
Exactly. And so we're gonna be going over those at the end. But before we get that going, we want to say thank you to the sponsor of this video, which is Upward. Upward is a Christian dating app which is free to download. You know, Tori and I actually connected online.
We did.
Before dating apps were a thing. And so we're excited to share more on that later on.
Yeah. All right, babe. First do.
I'm going. The first do is take pressure off of the date.
Yes.
Okay. This is such a built up thing around like, what are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? Is this person my husband or wife? Like, what am I, you know, there's so much emotion around it. One of the best things you can do is actually just take pressure off of it and let the date be what it will be and let that person be who they will be.
Keep it casual. I feel like honestly from a girl's perspective, it's a lot easier to say yes to a date if it's like a casual coffee date because you can be casual and still intentional.
Yeah. If you're putting too much expectation on it, think of it of like buying a house. You know, it's if you're going to buy a house, you want to make sure everything's perfect. Like this is what I want. This is how I want it to be. This is what I want the backyard to look like this. That's because you're committing so much money to this thing. If it's a first date, there's no commitment there right now. So take the pressure off of this person needing to be this person that you're going to marry and be with for the rest of your life. And you also don't need to put the pressure on yourself to be that person right now. Are you ready for the first don't?
Yes, y'all. The first don't, especially on a first date, don't start bringing up all your past relationships.
It's not a good look.
A first date is not where you unpack all that stuff. Like it's just not. Talk about that when you're like in a relationship and you're comfortable with each other and it's something that's like being brought up. But a first date, like you're just there to get to know that person. It's not about your exes. We're not looking in the rearview mirror. We're like looking forward. So. Yeah.
You know, I've heard it said that if you're looking in the rearview mirror, you're going to crash into what's in front of you. You definitely don't want to do that.
All right, babe. Second do.
The second do is ask questions about their life. We're actually going to be sharing more on this at the end of the video when we do all the conversation kind of role-playing type thing. Yeah. But people love to talk about themselves. They really do. It's why we started a YouTube channel.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just teasing. Stop. People love to share about the things that they love. And so inquire about their life. That's a great do. You
want to hear stories about their life? That's a great way to like get to know that person is to ask them good questions. And so
hit them with the next don't, baby.
The next don't is be on your phone the entire date.
Hold on. 1 sec. Yeah?
Oh my God.
That's the corniest joke ever.
I would be so frustrated if I was on a date.
Hold on.
Stop.
I'm just teasing, babies. I'm sorry.
I would be so upset if I was on a first date and the guy was just on their phone the whole time. Like nothing would annoy me more. I'd be like, have fun. Okay, bye.
I gotta go.
Sorry, someone called.
I don't blame you. I at all.
I did always in dating have an exit strategy though.
Maybe that could be a little tip below. Have an exit strategy. Did you really?
Yes.
God, that's terrifying. No wonder I got friend zoned twice.
That's not. No, I never like exited a date. That wasn't with you, that was.
You exited dating.
Anyways, the next do.
Be yourself. Life is too short to be somebody else and they're already taken. So be yourself. If you are trying to put it on for that other person, you're going to have to put it on forever.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to have to just play that role of who you want them to believe that you are. That's not a fun game. You don't want to perform inside of this relationship. You want to offer this person your best you, but that's your best you. Feeling loved whenever you are who you are is so special versus being loved for who you are projecting. Yeah. Hit him with the next don't. Bibbies.
Y'all, the next don't bring up controversial topics on the first date. Do that when you're more comfortable and you know each other a little bit better. But if you're trying trying to like just get to know each other, that is not the way to like get to know someone's heart, I don't think, especially not on a first date.
Yeah, especially if it makes you frustrated, you know, because a lot of political or moral, ethical issues, they cause people to get really emotional.
Yeah.
And
worked up.
Yeah, and you may not want to get that person in that mindset or even get yourself in that mindset. And that's why it's good to talk about like things that you love, because it keeps the spirit around the conversation very light and very friendly and healthy.
Yeah. The next do, babies.
Have a plan. You want to have a plan. No one likes indecisiveness. You know, it's just like, people try to be kind. They're like, well, what do you want to eat?
I hate when he asks me that.
So what do you want to eat?
Because I never know what I want to eat.
And then she's like, well, what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I don't know what you want to eat. And so people like plans. People like it whenever they don't have to make all these decisions. And so I do want to be careful when you are making plans. You ever seen the movie Hitch? Don't go jet skiing to this far off island to show them the history of their family's like their family's what was it?
I don't remember, but then it was like a really
it was like
bad
their family,
relative or
it was like
something.
It was their family lineage. And so when you make a plan, it can be as simple as, we're gonna go grab coffee and go walk around the lake, right? Yeah. It's like, but have a plan, that way that person feels that you committed time into it and you're gonna honor their time and you thought about them.
Yeah.
And so obviously you want the plan to be something that they would want to do, because it shows intention. This is an important thing. Everyone wants to know who pays. Who pays? I say who plans is who pays. And so if she's planning a date for me, you whip out the card that our banks are both connected to. But it's like a thing where it's just like, if I were to invite you, like to say to Disney World, that's I'm asking you to spend a lot of money. If I'm taking you there, then I'm going to pay for you while you're there, because that's a lot of money.
I like that. Who plans is who pays.
Amen.
All right, y'all. The next don't put expectations on this person before you even know who they are. Don't go in with this list of who your perfect person is supposed to be, and if they don't check off this, you know, right hair color, right eye color, like all these physical things, then you're automatically like disappointed. Like go in with open eyes to get to know their heart. Yeah. And try to connect on like-minded values.
Yeah. And it's really good to value even differences that this person offers. I've had several friends that have come off of like a first date or a second or third date. Like, oh, well, we just didn't really connect on this. I'm just like, well, what makes you feel that you have to connect on that? Yeah. You know, like I have guy friends that I do guy stuff with, right? That I don't make Tori do that. I do make her watch some sports, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
but
lots of sports.
Let this person be who they are and value that.
Yeah. Yeah, because honestly, if we were on a first date and Chad was like, do you like this sports team, and do you like tennis, and do you like Formula One, and like goes down the list of like, do you like 21 Pilots?
Are you exposing me right now?
I'm just being honest. Like, if you were to say that all in the first date, I'd be like, oh gosh, like, sorry, I don't even know half the stuff you're talking about. And if you would have taken that away and then like, she's not interested in any of the things that I like, then that would have not been good. But like, as we started dating and you started introducing me to things and sharing why you like those things, I took an interest, because I took an interest in you and I wanted to know your heart. And so I wanted to connect and like some of the things that he really liked. And now like love 21 Pilots and know every word of the songs, but like I didn't know that on a first date. And so you do have to give time for the relationship to blossom and to grow, and you'll start like connecting on different things that maybe you don't connect with on that first date. We gotta give it time. Yeah.
The last do that we have before we get into quick tips is have conversation starters or restarters ready. Yeah. Whenever you're first hanging out with somebody, the conversation can kind of drift off or lull or experience some awkward silence. And let me just be clear about this. Everyone's a little anxious before a date, right? Yeah. It's just like, what's it going to be like? What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? Yeah. There's a lot of emotion around it. And so having a plan, like what I said before, but a plan around the conversation can be really helpful to you, especially if you hit some of those awkward lulls.
A little awkward turtle moments.
It may happen.
Absolutely.
So, but more on that later. Let's do some quick tips.
Okay. Y'all, this one's gonna sound funny, but like, take your hygiene seriously. You know what I mean? Like, put some deodorant on, wear a nice outfit, like be presentable, because number one, you're gonna feel more confident, and you go in for that first little hug or something, you wanna smell good. I mean, it really is a thing.
Yeah, and even knowing if you're gonna go in for that hug, commit to what you're gonna do. It's even like if you're gonna high five someone or dab them up or whatever, commit to what you're doing and don't let it be awkward. Where this, I don't even know if they can see. Let me back this up. So So like if I'm coming in here, I'm gonna go ahead and hold my arms out like I'm hugging you. You know what I mean?
You're ready for it. Okay.
So that way I don't walk up and I'm like this. Oh gosh. I'm telling you, because that is not the move. The feeling awkward about what to do with your hands, or should I hug this person? Do I kiss them on the cheek? Like the whole French thing. Have a plan for that. The next quick tip is take an opportunity to either find a date that's like semi-active or try to avoid sitting across from each other. One of Tori and I's first favorite dates was in North Carolina, and we sat adjacent from each other. So if there's like a table that sits four, instead of her sitting like this, she sat like this. And so what's cool is we got to interact with the world together.
Right.
And we were people watching, and we were making up stories for people that are sitting around us. And it took the pressure off of like an interview where it's like, you asked me a question and I don't know what to say. So like
we're also not saying if this is a first date to like sit on the same side of the booth.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I would say look for opportunities, or going on a walk is great, because that way you can like point out something in nature. Yeah. If there is an awkward silence, like you're doing something in addition. Yeah. And so versus if you're just one-on-one like this, it can take awkward moments and kind of magnify them a little bit.
Yeah. For sure. Next quick tip is, especially on a first date, do not feel the need to touch each other. Y'all, there is a time and a place, and your relationship will get there. I don't know. I feel like on a first date, I'd feel uncomfortable if the guy like tried to like
be
touch
all
me.
over you. Yeah. And I think in kind of accordance with the whole plan idea, is that if you can kind of go in there already knowing like, listen, I don't want to just focus on trying to touch this person. I'm just going to try to enjoy who they are. It helps you focus more on the conversation or more on the activity or whatever it is you're doing. Because that way you're not just kind of low key like, like trying to get closer and closer. And so, like Tori said, that time will come. And so just give it time.
When you're comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. When you're comfortable. Yeah. And the last quick tip we have is show up on time. I didn't think we would need to mention that. But, what does it say about somebody if they don't show up on time? It shows that maybe they don't value their own time. They don't value your time. They're less interested. I know a lot of people don't want to seem too eager, but they're like, oh, I want to show up fashionably late. Don't do that. I have this rule. I think I've told you this before. I don't know. What? I don't even think my friends know this, but if I'm going to have a phone call with a friend at say 12 p.m., right? We're like, hey, I'm going to call you at 12. And I have set aside like 45 minutes to catch up. If they call me at 12:30, then I now only have 15 minutes to catch up. And it's not to be rude, but it's just like, that's the time I set aside. And it's not to knock. If they had something come up, I understand that we can always reschedule. Totally. But I have to like value my own time. And so whenever someone sees it, they like value your time, and you feel good. You're like, wow, this person put a lot of thought into it, and you feel special. And so don't feel the need to project coolness by being late, but also don't project apathy by just showing up dressed in whatever. Just don't really have a plan, because that's just, that's not attractive. Yeah. So this next part could be a whole video in itself, where people just want to know what to talk about on a first date, or even any date for that matter. It could be a 3rd, 4th, 100th. And we wrote down some of the ones that we thought can really help the conversation continue to flow. Yeah. And then we're even going to role play a few of them, which I think is going to be hysterical, because I don't think Tori's ready.
Okay, wait. I have one thing before we do this. This is one tip, because I know that a lot of people like text before their first date.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's really important to not ask every single question you want to ask texting before you get to the first date. And if it's going to be a little while before you meet, maybe even say intentionally like, hey, I really want to save like getting to know you until we're in person. Ooh. That way we don't have this. I think it's really easy to like start getting attached to someone just because you like have this texting relationship, but you've never actually even met them in person. And so being intentional to be like, hey, I really am interested in getting to know you better. Yeah. So don't take it personally if I don't text you every day, and try to keep the conversation going. I really want to save that for when we're in person.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really good tip, because it can be so easy it's almost like taking the easy way out versus like if you're just going to text some quick questions, because it takes the personal level out of it, where you can not respond to it for a while. Yeah. Or you can, maybe some people feel more comfortable, but the more you practice in-person communication, the more comfortable you'll feel with it. And so it's good to practice that. So I do think kind of setting expectations, say, hey, listen, I want to talk to you all day day every day, but I want to save some of the fun conversations for our dates when we get to hang out in person. That way we can really like hear each other and share our experiences.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to conversation, I think the two main goals here are to admire your differences and look for connections, because I think on one hand, it's really good to find things that you have in common, because you can share in hobbies or interests, and even like our faith. That's something that's so important to us, that we share that in common.
Yeah.
But also some of the things that we have in different, like some of the things that are different about Tori than me are some of the things I admire the most. And if I were just looking for some carbon copy of me, just go look in a mirror, right? It's like, no, you should try to admire the differences that this person has, because they are a unique person. And that leads us to the conversation part, because as you're inquiring, take interest in the similarities and the differences.
Yeah.
And another thing is, on each of these conversation kind of starters and restarters that we have, ask for further on each one of them. So for example, if I were to ask you what your favorite YouTube channel is, and you say Tori and Chad Masters, I would say, why is it? But why? Like, maybe let us know in the comments.
Oh my God. I can't.
All right, just hit him with the first one.
Okay, we're just gonna rapid fire, y'all. There's also, do you want to preface? There is like so many different conversation starters that you can look up that are really intentional. So do that too. But these are quick and easy and simple ones. One would just be, where did you grow up? What did you enjoy about that? What did you not enjoy about growing up there? Would you ever move back there? And follow up questions about that town, what they did and didn't like.
Yeah. Another one would be, tell me about your family and your friends.
Yeah.
It's always good to hear about people's loved ones, and ask them, who are the most influential people in your life? When people talk about things they love, they light up and they smile, and it's a great way to keep a healthy conversation flowing.
Yeah. Even just like favorite books, TV shows, YouTube channels, just all their favorite things, you know?
And then one that I always like to do is, instead of asking people, so what do you do for work? I like to ask them, what do you like to do for fun? Yeah. Because marriage for us is like 90% hanging out and 10% like other stuff. And so it's always good for us to find fun things to do. Yeah. And getting to know what that person finds interesting. Like, do they like to go to museums? Do they like to do art? Or do they like to play sports? Whatever it may be. Yeah. And then keep inquiring into that. Yeah.
Or even like asking them what their favorite day ever was and why it was their favorite day.
I like that one. Are you ready for the first role-playing one?
Okay.
So, you're in the date. Okay, you're having a conversation here. Let's sit like this. We're in the conversation. Okay. And then the conversation kind of dies out and it gets awkward. Do you want to hear a knock knock joke? Yeah. Okay, but the thing is, you have to start it.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Me. I don't get it. Why?
You get it? Because you're not supposed to know what to say.
I know.
That's so funny. Have a joke prepared for awkward silences. I like that one. Think about it. Knock, knock. Who's there? And then you're like, wait, what am I supposed to say? Yeah. You actually answered me really fast. You're supposed to sit there and wonder, like, what do I say?
I'm like, I'm here. Hey.
Yeah, hey. And it kind of just, how much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice.
Oh, you're so corny.
What? All right, next one. That's role play number 1.
Okay, next just conversation starter is if they have any dream travel places that they would love to go, or any...
Bora Bora. Sorry. I just
slipped that one in
Someone
there.
mentioned travel.
Any travel that they've done that they've loved, why they love traveling there. It's always so much fun to talk about the places you've been. Yeah. And where you want to go.
I really like this one because people asked us this one after we got married, but I wish I would ask this to you. What's something about you I wouldn't guess right away? Get a little deep.
Ooh. Okay, this one I really love, and I feel like our fellow Christians out there will really like. But the question of what has God been teaching you in this season, I feel like I would genuinely want to know in any stage of dating. I feel like that's such a good question because I feel like God's teaching us different things from day to day, week to week, season to season, and that really is going to, open up the conversation to get a little bit deeper, and I feel like it also will, you'll figure out where they are in their faith, and that matters too.
That's super important. Yeah. Role play number 2. Are you ready for this? This is one of my favorite conversation starters or restarters. Okay. The game of word association. Do you guys know what that is? You ready to play this game?
I don't know.
I'll start.
Okay.
And remember, this is meant to be fun. Okay. Not a competition. Computer.
Why would you say computer? That one's hard.
Oh, babe, this is supposed to be fun. Just say whatever comes to my mind. There's no test. Okay. All right, I'll start with the brand new one.
Okay.
Hat.
Dad.
Me.
Dork.
Loser.
Husband.
Wife.
Me.
Hot.
You.
Okay, I give up. I don't know what else to say. That's one of my favorite games. Curling iron? Oh, they're hot.
Curl
Okay.
my hair.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, speaking of conversation starters, if you're online dating, I feel like the initial conversation, DM, message is actually really important.
Yeah.
Like, please don't just say, hey, sup.
Makes you think of Eminem song. You only got one shot. Do not miss your chance. Whatever.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the words.
Yeah, me either. They're probably words we can't share anyways.
Valid. Anyway, so be intentional. Like, if you're online dating, look at their profile, pick something out, ask them a question. I think it really speaks volumes the way you're like, first impressions really matter.
Yep.
Yeah. And speaking of dating apps, we do want to talk about Upward. They are like the Christian dating app and an app that we really feel confident talking to you guys about, because I don't think there's anything more important than having a relationship with someone who's on the same page as you spiritually, and especially a foundation with Christ as the center. Like, y'all, there's nothing like it. And so I love that it really takes the mystery out of it. It's more like, okay, if I have a friend or I want to hook up a friend with a friend, like, I'm gonna know that they're Christian.
Yeah, if they're a good fit.
Yeah, and so I feel like it's a great way to meet other singles, Christian singles, who are, I feel like wanting a committed relationship and are gonna be really intentional in the pursuit. And so it's free to download. We'll have a link below.
It's how it worked for our relationship. We met in person for like 15
seconds,
it was like 15 seconds, seriously. Then I said a bad remark. Not bad. If you know our love story, you've seen it before.
Yes.
But then we just became Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And I posted a status update. This is back years ago, right?
Back in 2014.
Yeah. And so I posted a status update where I was like, hey, so and so about this, my Bible study that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
And she saw that and she reached out to me because she saw, I think he's like-minded and I would love to get to know more about that Bible study.
Yeah.
And it kind of removed the mystery for her.
Yeah.
And that's how it kind of started. But now there's like a whole sea of people where you can remove the mystery. See? You see what I did there?
There it is. So anyways, we really encourage you guys, if you're single, if you're a Christian, to check it out. And we'll have the link below.
In the description.
Well,
that's all we got for this one, folks.
I think that's all we got. We hope that it was helpful. If you have any do's or don'ts to add, maybe comment those below, because we'd love to hear your little tips and tricks too. Maybe we'll add them in another video of the dating series.
And I'm even thinking of 100 more right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. As soon as we turn this off, we're gonna think of.
I can think of another one. Don't brag about yourself.
Valid. Please don't do that. Yeah.
Jeez. All right. Maybe there's a part 2 coming. Who knows?
Maybe. If y'all want it.
We love y'all.
We're going now. See y'all in the next video.
See you in the next one. Do 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 do. Perfume.
Smell.
Bad.
You. I'm kidding.
Babe, you can't say me. You said me the last time. You can't just default to say you.
Okay, let's do it again.
Because what do I say?
Okay, I don't know.
Okay. Picture.
Frame.
Us.
Wedding.
Flowers.
Charcuterie.
What? Salami.
Cheese.
Honey.
Sweet.
Bee.
Ouch.
A stinger.
You.
Me? Babe. Good Lord.